And I know Rusty and I spent 4 full high six calls on this, and I thought it went really well, but I'm biased. So I'd like to hear from you guys as to what ahas you might have got out of your calls. I'd like to do 2 things to hear from you guys. One, maybe 1 or 2 people. We did a lot of work this week on the whys at Rick's suggestion. And I know Rusty and I spent 4 full high six calls on this, and I thought it went really well, but I'm biased. So I'd like to hear from you guys as to what ahas you might have got out of your call. Some of the group, obviously I'm not in the other groups. So anyone want to volunteer what you got out of that exercise? And more importantly, in the group call with your group, because a lot of people were very vulnerable and open to, which is our community, to working on their why. Good. Hitter?
Well, for me, the main thing was it made me actually put it on paper. When you guys asked me this week, we're going to address it, I was like, oh, damn, now I need to write it down. And so that was a big movement point for me. I mean, it did put some more, structure to the actual why, but for me, it was more so, okay, they told me to put it on paper. I should have done this months ago, but I'm doing it now. And that was big for me.
Awesome. Are you eating again?
Huh?
Are you eating again?
Yes, I just finished.
Okay, good. David?
Yeah, along the same lines. I haven't really visited my why since QLS last year, and I didn't put it down on paper. I mean, I wrote down last year QLS, but I didn't go back to it. So we went through the why yesterday. Really helped me focus down on it, and then I was able to meet with my wife last night, and we went through the whys. The question, nice. It's on paper. I want to type it out because it's chicken scratch right now, but yeah. I will get it all laid out this weekend, hopefully.
Nice. And then you guys can both be reading it since you're on the same page.
Yes, we weren't that far off either. It was close. So
I love it. Probably closer than you think based on what you told us.
Closer than I realized we were.
Good job. Awesome job. Good experience. Good ahas here. Let's do a couple more, Ken.
Yeah, kind of in step with what Hida said and what David said is we use the expression exposure. So not only do we write it down, but we keep it on a Post-it note in our pocket, or we keep it above our camera like Hida does on some things. It's seeing it every day, not just kind of knowing where it is filed or whatever, but seeing it every day, the exposure.
Yeah. For those of you that aren't in high six, what I shared by the 4th one, Rusty probably could have said verbatim what I was telling people, but the bottom line was I read my why / some metrics that I included in there for about 9 years, 2015 till now. And I remember that date because it was when I visited Joe Vitale for dinner, Dr. Joe Vitale, and he got me on some things and we worked on some things together. And I read that from that date, 2015, almost daily, let's say 5 days a week, faithfully. I'd feel like I missed a workout if I missed reading it. And I wrapped that up, that section of my why, I wrapped that up last month, 9 years. So we talked a lot in I6 calls about how long it takes and the exposure. Like this isn't an overnight thing. I got my why, I'm all set. Next week, I'm gonna nail it. It takes time. Okay, in that case, 9 years. Laura.
Yeah, hi everyone. A huge shout out to the DeMartini value determination. I know that's linked in all of this Slack channels. We talked about that on our call. I'm just like right at the tail end of it. It takes something. They say it's a half an hour. You need to give yourself a little bit more than a half an hour, but it's really good what it's ended up kind of prioritizing and pulling all the areas together down into.
And you type, some people may have missed that, right?
Yeah.
Type that in the chat later so they can go do their values.
Yeah. I'll drop it in there. If somebody doesn't beat me to it. But just really good. It's super good. I highly recommend it.
Yep. That's why I wanted you to type it in there. I think everybody should do it. Dave Ripper.
Yep. So, Monday night when in relating my why to Rick, I had mentioned that I'm very familiar with the idea. I've kind of gone through it in other trainings or learnings before, and I'm pretty clear on it in my head. But, what I found was, in relating it out to someone else, actually speaking it out and trying to, relay that to someone else, it made it much more visceral, much more real. And as a result, I've noticed myself become like hesitation, and not that I've made a whole lot of progress in a couple of days here, but like the hesitation and sort of distraction doing other stuff has sort of fallen away a little bit. And so, for instance, last night I found myself working after my day job, my regular day job, then getting back online, taking a little break, go doing riding my motorcycle for a little bit, but then getting right back into looking at my systems, looking at leads, looking at what I'm going to do, planning it out. So just a very different experience after running through that. And the other thing I'm hearing now too is there might be a lot of value in actually writing it down, which I did not do.
Yes.
But that's what I have that on my mind now to move forward and actually write it down to see if there's a whole nother level there as well. But it was good. It was very good, even though I'm familiar.
Cool takeaways, guys. Someone brought up the 1%ers. I think it was Hitta, because he worked for the 1%ers on yachts, right? Hitta said that earlier. These are the little teeny stackable things that they do, right? It's not easy. It's not luck. No one's luckier. No one's better than you. None of that crap is true. It's all these things that others are not willing to do. Steve, us.
Yeah, so this year's brought a lot of different life events my way. And so it's got me kind of thinking at a higher plane. So I came in my discussion with Rick this week with kind of, like these big grandiose type of the values, which is a great starting place and really needs to be the starting place for it. But Rick helped me see that, like, how does the values drive to like what you want to do, and how do you bring that down to how you're going to conduct yourself day to day. So it's been very beneficial to me and came at the right time. So I appreciate the focus, Chris, Rick, Rusty, everybody's put onto it. It's been greatly appreciated, and I think it's very impactful.
Thank you. That's good feedback. And that I credited Rick because we have our coaches calls and we go, hey, what's up? How can we help people do more deals faster? How can we help them get better? And these things just come up. And Rick just noticed that. So thanks, Rick, for that. They don't call you Maverick for nothing. The other thing I want to hear from is there was not a boot camp today. I only had 3 people in the conference room because it was, again, a week or two ago, me going, man, there's some people that are just on the cusp and we got to get them a little bit more in the trenches. So I invited a bunch of high six, but Paul came. I don't know if Paul's on. Carla came. Carla is here. And Avi came, and Avi's running around trying to get a closing done for us in New Jersey. So I don't know if he's on. But if any of you guys are on, you want to share any ahas you had from today. All we did, it wasn't like the boot camp. It was just come in the conference room. Okay, we start dialing. We go right around the room. Give me a lead, give me a lead, give me a lead, give me a lead, give me a lead. That's all we did. And out of about 12 calls, we booked 3 appointments and converted 1 no to a yes. And because of that, we had to stop. And then we did 4 deal structures because we made 3 appointments. So we set Avi up with, okay, here's what you're going to do with the seller. That's what goes on at the boot camp. Call, get a lead, talk to the seller for you, get the deal structure set up, and get the appointment done. You see the whole process. So with that, is any one of the 3 on here right now?
I just let Paul in.
I'll go ahead.
Who's here? Carla?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay.
I thought it was really eye-opening. This was my first dive in, and it was awesome. I loved it. It was good to see how to break down the structures and have a lot of my answers questioned, and really see how organic it is to pivot the conversations to get people on board or even interested, turn them from, say, a cold lead into a warm or a hot lead. It was really insightful.
So what we did today, you guys, is it was interesting. We didn't plan this. Carla is brand spanking new, so she had her My Plus leads. That's all she had. So I called those. Paul and Avi had, some of them were like 2nd or 3rd follow-up. That's why we were able to book appointments. And others were just, hey, my VA got this lead. I haven't called it yet. So we had like call 1s, call 2s, call 3 and 4s. It was an interesting mix today. And frankly, we lucked out. We got some live right away. That doesn't always happen. So it's kind of cool. Did you say you let Paul in the room too?
I did. I'm not sure where he's at though.
Uncle Paul, where are you? Paul do. I don't see him. Nope, I don't see him.
I think Rusty's making up stories.
No, he's right there. He's right in between David and Heidi.
Paul, can you hear us, Paul?
He's not there.
All right. We'll come back to him.
Sorry about that. I know I let him in.
Someone kicked him out. Okay. If you are, well, all of you are qualified to come to the boot camp for free. So if you're not booked for next week and you could possibly get here, the 2 high 6 slots are already taken. I think it's Judy and John. There's 4 other seats if you're not booked. Raise your hand if you're coming next week. There are a few of you on here coming next week. Awesome. John's coming. Yeah, nice.
They come.
Nice. Scott, love it. Okay, you guys are gonna have a great experience. I hope we have the 5 times the experience we had this morning because you're gonna be with us longer.